Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a monk fighter build guide for Baldur's Gate 3. Now this is not your typical multi-class, but I found a cool synergy that we can put together with these two classes. So we're going to be starting as the monk. They have a pretty good start. Now the monk is quite powerful. Up until level 6, I would recommend using a monk weapon. So this is something like a short sword, a polearm, or a knife, or a dagger, I guess. So pick one of those weapons until level 6 when we get our power spike for damage. And you can use your bonus action, flurry of blows, for offhand attacks. But I would also recommend going with a clothing option. I'll be going over the gear choices for this build at the end, so you can stay tuned for that. But as for our ability scores, we have a few that are very important, and wisdom being one that we want to have high, since wisdom is going to give us higher armor class, as we have the unarmed defense here, and this adds our wisdom modifier. So we have a +3 right now to our armor class from wisdom, and we also get our dexterity modifier added to the damage, and dexterity is going to give us a little bit extra damage early game, so we can go with 16 in both of those stats. Constitution is our other main stats. We want to have that up to at least like somewhere around there. I would actually recommend taking this to 15 because we're going to end up using Tavern Brawler, which allows us to put another point in here, and that would get our Constitution modifier up to +3. So something like this works well. We're dumping strength for a particular reason. So later on in the game, the highest damage in this game is from using strength potions. So otherwise, we can get strength gauntlets to set it at 23, but I would highly recommend doing a little bit of work getting the strength potions because it makes this build extremely powerful. However, if you don't want to use that, we can kind of split our points from our dexterity into our strength as well. But I would highly recommend just going with the strength potion route because we're going to be a lot stronger that way. And by a lot, I mean a lot stronger. So already we got a 20 to 44 at level 1 with the current gear that we got. That just goes to show how strong this build can be with strength potions. At level 2, we get another key point in under movement, 3 meters movement speed increase when we're not wearing armor or using a shield. So yeah, never use a shield, never wear armor. Armor, you typically want to go with a clothing option, like that's what I'm wearing now, because we get really big increases to our movement speed. We also get patient defense, so attacks against you have disadvantage, and you have advantage on dexterity saving throws. Giving attack rolls disadvantage is one of the best things you can do in this game because it makes it so that they roll 2 die and they take the lower amount, and your armor class, if it beats it, they don't hit you. So patient defense, honestly quite good. Step of the Wind is also nice because it makes your jumps no longer require a bonus action. There's some interesting builds that we can get into with jumping around a lot, but we also get to disengage. So a few options there at level 2 that are nice for anyone in any time. We also get deflect missiles at level 3, which gives us a 1d10 plus dexterity modifier plus monk level point chance to deflect missiles. And we also get the harmony of water and fire, so when not in combat, regain half your key points rounded down. We also get to choose our subclass here. Way of the Four Elements, I guess that was for the Way of the Four Elements. Way of the Four Elements is an interesting one, but I actually think that the best damage option is actually Way of the Open Hand, because we get our flurry of blows, topple, stagger, and push. So this gives us a little bit of crowd control with the ability to knock people prone and stagger targets as well as push them back 5 meters. So very nice. Way of the Four Elements is pretty good too. I do have a build guide on how to take that class if you really want to go that way, but I think the open hand works well with the fighter. So we also get slow fall, resistance to fall damage, and our first ability score improvement. So this is a toss-up. You can go dexterity for higher damage or wisdom for more armor class. Dexterity seems to be the one that's going to give us a bit of a better benefit here, as this is going to increase our initiative as well as our armor class. So, and also our weapon attack rolls, as if we're using a dagger at this point, it's just going to help out with that. We also get extra attack at monk level 5. That's awesome, and the stunning strike unarmed, so we can stun a target. Next level, we get another power spike. So level 5, we get double attacks. Level 6, we get our subclass feature. This is when we can start using our bare hands. So we got the manifestation of body, mind, and soul. I would recommend going with the manifestation of mind mostly. Necrotic damage is most undead don't get hurt by necrotic, and a lot of things resist it. Psychic is one of the lesser resisted damage types, and radiant damage, it has its uses. In Act 2, use a manifestation of soul. This radiant damage is going to deal increased damage to shades, but in the later sections of the game, the psychic damage is sometimes a little bit better. And mind flayers are not resistant to psychic, so that's good to know. So We also get the wholeness of body, regain half your key points, and enter a temporary state of wholeness where you regain key points and have an extra bonus action. That is huge. If we added in 3 levels of the Rogue Thief, we would get 3 bonus actions with that, which is really nice for our topple of blows. But with the fighter, we got a little bit of a different way of doing things. So I really do think that the Rogue Thief adds a lot to this class. So we could add them in, but I'm going to be showing you something that's really powerful anyway. So we get evasion here, so it lets you dodge out of the way of certain spells. When a spell would deal half damage on a successful dexterity saving throw, it deals no damage if you succeed, and only half if you fail. So just flat out taking less damage from spells. And we also get Stillness of Mind, which if we get Charmed or Frightened, we automatically cast Stillness of Mind, get that extra bonus action, increase our key points, and remove the condition. So that's nice. It's good survivability. Level 8, we get ourselves a second feat. I would recommend, I guess we should have taken Tavern Brawler earlier, because we want to get our Tavern Brawler up and running. Because what this does is it adds our strength modifier twice to the damage and attack roll. So that is huge, because with the strength potions we get a +8, so it's doubled. So 16 to damage and attack rolls, massive damage increase. Also lets our take our constitution up to 16 to get that +3. Tavern Brawler makes this build extremely powerful because we're never missing and we're hitting hard, and we can throw things hard too. Now at level 9 we get really another big power spike with the we get advance on our movement, so difficult terrain won't slow us down. That's massive. We really want that as a monk because we're moving around often. We also get the Key Resonation Punch. So hit a creature with your bare fist, making the key and its body resonate with yours. Then what we can do is we can use Key Resonation Blast. It deals 3d6 force damage, and force is one of the best damage types, and it hits in a huge area around the enemy. And this doesn't use an action or a bonus action, so we can hit them with that, set it up, and then follow it up with a Key Resonation Blast. Huge. And we can also do it with a bonus action. So this is what's worth going to level 9 in the Open Hand Monk for, because that is a huge spike to our damage. Now we could potentially go level 10 Monk, but I do think it's actually best to add in a fighter now. We also get our second win bonus action heal, so that's a pretty good use of bonus action for not jumping around. Now this is tricky because I like defense, but this is only, it adds to our armor class if we wear armor, and we're wearing clothing, which doesn't count. Archery is probably the only one we can make use of. Dueling, this gives, if we're earlier in the game, this would add +2 to the damage with our knife attacks or the quarterstaff attacks. We one-hand it. But just not worth going with, really. Any of these don't really work. 2-weapon fighting, maybe. 2-weapon fighting, dueling. I'm going to take archery just for ranged weapon attack roll. Which doesn't really make a big difference. None of these will work, but level 2, we get Action Surge, which is a huge buff to us, allowing us to do another action. Massive. And then finally, we got a big choice here. We can go with the Battle Master and get 4 superiority die and use these for our Battle Master maneuvers. Or we can go Eldritch Knight and get ourselves 2 cantrips. I really like Mage Hand and Minor Illusion because we don't really want to use these. Our intelligence is 8. We're not going to cast these and hit very often. So Friends, Mage Hand, or Minor Illusion if we go this route. And for the spells, Shield is incredibly powerful. Increase armor class by 5 and take no damage from Magic Missile. So that is a really nice one just to have for survivability's sake. And then we can also use like Magic Missile for hitting targets. Mage Armor sadly doesn't work alongside the unarmored defense, so this will just cut our defense. Thunderwave can be okay for pushback. We already have other methods, so Magic Missile is probably the best spell choice here because this, if we can't hit a target with anything else, we can do a Magic Missile. Not going to be huge damage, but it's something. And then for extended spell slots, I would take Longstrider for the 3 meters movement speed increase, which is huge. So we only get a couple spell slots here, 2 level 1 spell slots, so we could cast Longstrider to increase movement speed and then use Shield once. Or we could go with a Fine Familiar, but I personally think the Battle Master is a little bit better because we can add in our maneuvers, and Riposte is pretty good. So when a hostile creature misses you with a melee attack, you can expend a die to do a powerful strike that deals an additional 1d4 damage. We could also go with Rally for expending a superiority die to give an ally 8 temporary health points. This is good because if you have a teammate that went down, you can use this bonus action to bring them back up. So this is actually really nice because the 8 temporary health will help a lot. I guess it really depends if you want to go Battle Master or go with the Eldritch Knight, but we can go with something like, I'll go with Trip Attack and then Menacing Attack. So those are 2 other options. That's where we get a ranged weapon from, so these can knock the target prone. And we'll go with that for our battle maneuvers. We also get the ability to wear any armor, any weapons. So typically what we want to do is we want to set up our stillness of body. I guess not, wholeness of body is what we want to use in the middle of combat, basically. We have a few heals with Rally and Second Wind, but we typically want to set up with our... trying to find, I can't remember where it went. We get to choose our damage type, and that'll add to our punching attacks. We also have incredible damage with Flurry of Blows here. As you can see, up to 68 damage on a bonus action. And if we cast that, we get 2 bonus actions. So that's 136 in damage. As for the items, Constitution Amulet gives us 138 health, which is really nice. But you can go with something else like the Amulet of Ball to inflict bleeding, healing spells, and even the Sentient Amulet here is an interesting choice. So this is exclusive to monks. No one else gets the benefits from this. But basically what it does, let's see if I can... Oops, didn't mean to do that. Trying to get the other bar there. But basically what it does is you can get key restoration from it and a free shatter spell. I'm not sure why it's not popping up there, but we got the shatter spell there. Oh, yeah, right below, key resonation. So you restore key points equal to the martial arts die. So that's not a bad one to go with else. And also we got the Killer Sweetheart here for hitting critical hits on punches, which we really want because we can do a lot of damage. Ring of Protection, +1 armor class. We have a solid 22 armor class. If we were able to get the Wisdom up a little bit higher, we could get that up to 23. But we're using the Mask of Soul Perception for +2 to attack rolls, initiative, and perception checks. Initiative's huge for this because we get in and beat people up fast. +1 armor class, saving throw. Vest of Soul Rejuvenation. This is easy to get in Act 3. Whenever the wearer succeeds a saving throw against a spell, they regain 1 to 4 health points. That's big. Greater Kashigo counter when the wearer can use a reaction to make an unarmed strike against any attacker that misses. Also really nice. And then +2 armor class. We have the Gloves of Soul Catching here, which adds a 1d10 force damage, which is awesome. Force is the least resisted damage type. We also, once per turn on an unarmed hit, we regain 10 health points. Massive. Or we can forego the healing to gain advantage on attack rolls and saving throws until the end of our next turn. So that's massive. And then we'll +2 to Constitution, which still gives us a pretty respectable health point there. And we'll +1 armor class there. So pretty nice, honestly. We get that key restoration, Flurry of Blows, and I guess our passives here. I'm not sure how to get those equipped. I forget. But yeah, overall, the damage in this is incredible. Basically, what we want to be doing is making sure that we can get our key resonation punches up. So we can hit someone like Mizora there, and we resonate our key with her. So you can see the martial arts unarmed strike there. Whenever she reappears, we'll be able to use our key resonation blast, because you can see she has the key resonating with her. So we can literally just use this, and you see the hit area, it's pretty big. So boom, hits a huge area around her. And then we got our bonus action, stagger, topple, and push, which is really what you want to be burning your key points on, because they do a ton of damage. So up there to 68, and then if you hit a critical hit, that's even better. So it can do an incredible amount of damage, and the punching and kicking is really cool. So that's one thing I really do like about this. You also get that extra attack there. I'll see if I can get the pop up again. So we got that unarmed strike bonus action. Really good. A lot of damage on this build. It's not as strong, I don't think, as the Monk and the Thief Rogue, but still an incredibly powerful build in Baldur's Gate 3. The Monk is underrated for sure, and someone requested me to do a different build guide with the Monk, so here's one that's with the Fighter. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.